Hello and welcome to today's edition of Route 664, The Road to Human Kindness. I'm your host, Les Winston. I'm the national spokesperson for socialsecharity.org, a project of the Endow American Network Foundation. And also we have our own radio station now, Route 664. You can find that at route664.org, route664.org. Listen to some great music and also some good chatter from time to time.
Information.
And good information about what you need to get along in the world. One of the things that that I've been working on personally is taking a course in becoming a master in philanthropy. My normal designation is a chartered advisor in philanthropy. It's how I work in the community. But in my master's course, we've been dealing with a book which I think is one of the best references that I've ever worked with. It's called The Legacy Spectrum. And it's written by Mark Weber. We should try and get Mark on the show one of these days.
Like a plan.
My co-host Wanda.
Hi.
In case you're wondering who I'm talking to.
It's his godmother.
The Legacy Spectrum helps you go through the process of figuring out what your legacy could be and how you plan your estate, but dealing with it, including philanthropy. And philanthropy is a very powerful tool that we are all about on this program. That's what human kindness is dealing with. How we help each other, how we can do that effectively, economically, and also for the betterment of the community, the country, and the nation. And country and the nation is the same thing.
Big goals.
Or the world.
There.
We want to end wars. We don't
Definitely.
like that. We want peace in the world. So we use the phrase 664, not war, but also 664. The missing piece. Why do we use 664? Because that is a section of the tax code that allows you to do some really phenomenal things using social security devices. Social security devices sound a lot like Social Security because it's very similar. They allow you to create income for later in life. They do it in a favorably taxed way where you can avoid taxes on transactions. You can avoid taxes such as capital gains tax on transactions. You can decrease your estate tax. You can decrease your income tax. All of these things are tax-favored devices that the government has given us, and they gave it to us a long time ago. Question is, why don't we use them as effectively as we should? And the reason is that most people don't know they exist. So this program is to bring that to light. Section 664 of the tax code, Route 664, is about those numbers. And
did everyone get their taxes done?
I don't know. You're asking me. I did.
I know you did.
Yeah, it's a thing we have to do. The government says you've got to pay your tax, but you can avoid taxes. You're not duty bound to pay the most that the law extracts. You have the right and privilege to pay as little tax as you can. And if you don't know how to do that, then you're an uninformed taxpayer. And one of the things that we're trying to get across here is that you can become an informed taxpayer. You can get help becoming an informed taxpayer, not just from your accountant, but from other professionals. And those professionals are professional advisors in philanthropy. They understand how to use this section of the tax code to your advantage, and they're available to help you. You can find them on the socialsecharity.org website. You can find an advisor that can help you do this kind of planning. But the planning is also very important for the future of the country. In other respects, it's meant to increase the public's awareness of how they can get involved in solving problems, large problems. We have a guest with us today, Lior Kubi. Lior is a student here at Miami-Dade Community College, and Lior joins us now. He's actually sitting here in the studio, doesn't have to join us from afar. It's one of those unusual circumstances. How are you, Lior?
Well, how are you?
Good. This is the first time we've actually tried this, working with a student to find out what's on your mind. We want to know how things affect you that may affect other people. So tell us a little bit about what you do every day.
Hi, I'm a student well, now we're not
Study.
in class anymore, but during the semesters I study. I'm getting an English degree, majors in English, and then eventually law school. So
Okay, we'll become a lawyer.
yeah.
All right, good to know.
So maybe I'll write some of that 664.
Good. Well, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, because this is a profession that
Yeah.
young people should be considering, because it's an area that a lot of other professionals aren't in yet, and you get yourself noticed in that kind of a niche of specialty, and it's very valuable. Especially, we're dealing with the middle class. We're not just dealing with the ultra rich in the country, because that's a very small segment. We actually deal with the middle class. So what do you think the middle class is?
Well, I would differentiate the middle class from the working class. I would say the working class would be industry, and then the middle class would be the blue collar and white collar. So from lawyers, doctors, all the way to mechanics and plumbers.
Okay,
That's the middle class.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's the middle class. Okay.
Anything beyond
Okay.
that would be the upper, and anything below that would be the working or lower class.
Okay.
Mhm.
And do you consider yourself in the middle class now?
Oh yeah, my dad, he runs a CFO, and I'm in college, so that's a pretty indicative of me being in the middle class. So.
Good.
Yeah.
So have you registered for the draft?
Well, I'm still 17, but when it comes up, I'm duty bound to it.
Yeah.
be
Do you know
bound.
that?
Yeah.
Did you learn that on our program, or did you actually know that beforehand?
A friend of mine registered when he was 18, so I learned that it was necessary then.
Good. So what do you think about service to the country?
Well, serving the country, I mean, if you're asked to do it, you should do it. I don't think I would be best suited for the military. I think I could serve the world better as an attorney in the civil world rather than in the military. But if the
Interesting you
Congress
say civil
requires
world.
you, if Congress requires a draft in whatever war that will be necessary, because I mean, it would be a very unpopular move. So it would be necessary for them to enact it again.
Are all your friends going to college?
Yeah, everyone I know so far is going to college. Yeah.
Okay.
I live in that bubble of suburbanism.
Okay. So I want to just give you a couple of buzzwords. I'm interested in knowing what you think about them. Okay. Inflation.
As long as it's not too much.
As long as it's not too much. Okay. What's too much?
Probably above 4%.
4% inflation?
Yeah. I know the ballpark is 2, but in a recession, you may want to up it up to 4 just to get the ball rolling again.
Okay.
Anything above 4%, that gets too close to hyperinflation, which is 10%.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
You're
Well,
served.
that's it. We don't want to do this anymore.
Served.
So, okay, 4% inflation is a little bit too high. Is acceptable, you're saying, in a time when there's recession.
In a bad
So-
situation, yes, we can get that high.
Okay. So what do you think about the national debt?
I mean, I'm not going to say we can't spend debt, of course, because, yeah, but we eventually have to put a stop to it. We have to reduce spending, of course, and sadly, we'll have to increase taxes as well, because the reduction of taxes to the economic growth just doesn't correlate strongly enough. So the national debt as a whole, right now, I wouldn't worry too much. I would say that we will want to go into longer length bonds. That way, if we ever end up in a national crisis where the interest rates skyrocket, we won't be in such a bad situation. And yeah, other than that, I don't really have that much strong opinions.
Okay.
Try to reduce it. Try to not increase it so much in emergencies like this, because there's always going to be a new emergency.
Okay. Social Security.
We need it. I'm kind of worried of what's going to happen. We should probably reform it as best as we can, trying to diversify the investments more. Social Security, I think, has a bit too much money inside of the government bonds.
Inside the government bonds. Okay. Do you think you're going to get Social Security when you're at retirement age?
I hope. If I think, well, I'd say it's a 50-50.
Okay. Do you think that,
I shouldn't plan for it.
There you go.
okay. Do you think it's guaranteed by the government?
It's guaranteed as much as any guarantee by the government is. As,
Oh.
as circumstances don't change, it'll survive. But if
Okay.
circumstances change, well,
Okay. All right. That was your economics lesson
All
from
right.
Lior. So thank you, Lior. That was enlightening, because you know a lot more than most people do. I wasn't aware that you were a ringer, but anyway, so
sorry.
that's okay. And I understand you want to be a lawyer. Okay. And that would obviously put you in the middle class and stay in the middle class. Okay. So
Unless you were like a celebrity lawyer.
Or if I save a lot.
yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do in your life now. Do you do anything as far as charity is concerned right now?
I volunteer in the local community, but I don't give any money. Haven't got a salary.
Okay. So how do you live day to day? You live on your parents' scholarship?
Yeah, I've lived by their grace.
Okay.
Aw.
Good. Medical insurance.
Their grace.
Okay. So is there any
So,
problem in
yeah.
the country that you think that the community can solve better than government?
Well, almost any issue is better solved in the most regional area. I mean, wages change, education varies. Having a mass program by the federal government isn't able to adapt as well as a local policy or a local community issue. Having the local school is better able to adapt because it knows the community better, or local hospitals as well.
Okay. And do you think that medical care should be provided to everybody for free?
I wouldn't say for free, but between the choice of having people dying because of some uncontrolled situation, sometimes people are unlucky and they get a disease that costs $10,000, $100,000, and then
That's
an
another
average person's
conversation.
salary, they can't afford that.
I mean, why is the whole conversation of medical expenses? But anyway.
So are you familiar with the
digress.
term endowment?
Not as much as I think you would want me to be.
Okay.
Like, good
I
answer.
found something good. I can ask him. Okay. So,
All
all right. So endowment. What does it mean to be endowed? Now, I don't. Excuse me. What does endowment mean?
that,
What does endowment mean from the standpoint of a nonprofit organization, a charity? What does a charity think about? What would they benefit by if there was an endowment?
An endowment would be a fund in perpetuity.
Yes. Good. Very good.
Would that fund be taxed?
Well, nonprofits aren't taxed. They have a special category where they're not taxed on what they receive in the form of donations, and they're not taxed in what they receive as far as income on what they've invested.
Mhm.
So if a nonprofit organization, are you familiar with Children's Hospital?
Yes.
Not the one here in Miami, but the one the one that Danny Thomas founded, the Shriner Hospital.
I've heard of it, yes.
Okay. They treat patients for free.
Mhm.
Okay. And the reason they're able to do that is because they have an endowment.
Is Shriners in St. Jude's? They're
Same one,
same
St.
thing.
Jude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
An endowment will be placed in a fund.
yes, what the nonprofit organizations, charities, 501c3 organizations. That's a section of the tax code. Again, 501c3. We talk about these sections like they're, standard knowledge to people. Maybe they are. You know what a 401k is?
Not as much as you'd like me to.
Okay, but you know what it's about, a 401k?
It's saving for a retirement to a certain amount.
Good. So you know what that section of the tax code is meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
Good. You know what a section 529 is? 529.
Is that a Roth?
No, that's a college. That's
Yeah,
a college
it's good
for
for you.
funding for
Yeah.
colleging.
Okay.
College, yeah.
Might want to look into that.
The Roth IRA, actually, the Roth IRA has its own section of the tax code as well. But so we talk about a section of the tax code on this program, 664. Have you ever heard of that section before?
I've only heard of Route 66.
Okay. By the
It's a
way,
good one.
if you look up Route 664, there are a lot of Route 64s in the country. They go from a lot of different places, but our Route 64 takes you to human kindness. So what's important about the human kindness aspect of it at this particular point in time in our country?
Well, many people seem to forget that we all are still neighbors, and whether we agree on politics or not, or agree on how to solve the solutions, the issues, and most of the time we agree on what the issues are, we still should have kindness. Kindness can solve a lot of these issues, if not all of them.
Yeah.
Good. Leo, thank you for being with us this morning. Leo Kubi, student at Miami-Dade Community College and future lawyer. Hope you have success in what you're doing.
And he'll be back.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, we're going to follow you. We're going to track you.
We need your youthful knowledge.
So, Wanda,
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
I had to get coffee. Sorry, I was running.
So I know that you've added a special feature to our radio station.
Oh yes, finally, not finally. Yeah, finally. Dead Air will be premiering this weekend, a midnight Friday.
Good.
Dead Air. Listen for it.
Who's the first? Who's the first?
Tom Petty will be our first guest.
Yeah. So the idea is
Welcome
that there
back,
are very, very special people that are passed on,
Yeah.
but we don't want to forget them.
Yeah. Nobody
And so
gets on
Wanda
this
has a
show
way to remember them,
alive.
even though we're talking about something we never want to talk about on the air, which is dead air.
Well, dead air it's going to be the music, obviously, but my goal is to get mostly live music from these dead artists, and also it's just a little play on words, as I love to do. Have fun with words, and so live music, a little conversation with them. We're just hopefully just bringing them back to life a little bit after midnight.
Okay. So our next guest is a young man who has been vital to our organization. He is a writer for us. He's done quite a bit of he doesn't rearrange, but he kind of puts what we talk about in a different light. He jazzes it up a little bit. You can see his columns. They're published in the community newspaper online, and also on our website, on our blog. And he joins us now, Osman Darwish. Osman, how are you?
Hi, what's going on, Les? Wanda, how are you?
Nice
Good.
to see you.
Good. It's good to see you. We don't get a chance to see you in person very often, except this way, and under the what we've been under for a while. Tell me what you think is happening now, Osman, with regard to our, masking, unmasking. You think we're finally free?
I think we're getting there. I think we still have a bit to go, but if we listen to the science, listen to the professionals, and do what we need to do as a community, and not be so afraid. I know we're living in troubled times, but I'm a bit of an optimist, so I believe things will eventually, get better. So
okay, good. So what's the latest thing you're working on?
The latest thing I'm working on is actually without giving away too much. Okay. Coming up with actually a specific icon, sort of like a cartoonish icon for social charity, for the Endow America Network Foundation. And her name is Charity. And she has special powers. She's a very interesting character that we're hoping that she becomes the icon of 2021, 2022, and the near future. And I'm working on that and a few other articles, including one of my favorites, which I call Heroic Fridays, which is a take.
Heroic
Fridays. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I'm a bit of a fan and a bit of a unofficial authority on American pop culture and history, fun facts. And I go into a little bit of like the historic knowledge that stories behind the stories, which always inspire me as a writer. For example, one of my first pieces was about the real Sherlock Holmes and where the inspiration for Sherlock Holmes came from. A lot of people don't know that it actually came from the author, Arthur Conan Doyle, who was a student of the real Sherlock Holmes, whose name was Dr. Joseph Bell.
Okay.
Also, another one of my favorites, Ian Fleming, who wrote the James Bond 007 novels. A lot of people don't know that he changed the name, but the character and the archetype is actually based on the author himself, who used to be in MI6 during World War II and all that. Things like that, stories behind the stories that people don't know about, or people don't know a lot about, that I like to bring to light. So the truth is stranger and often more exciting than the fiction itself.
I got it. So the stimulus is better sometimes than the stories, actually.
Usually.
So yeah. So Osman, the work that you're doing for the radio show, Route 664, and also for what we're doing with our campaign and Endow America Network Foundation is really valuable, and it's very enlightening to hear your take on some of these things. I know that you were dealing with an article about the middle class or middle America. You have any takeaways from your writing that you think you want to share in a short clip with regard to the middle class? I'm putting you on the spot, you know.
That's okay. It's certainly an issue that needs to be talked about a lot more. It's an issue that has been what I like to call the elephant in the room. And it's getting bigger and bigger. Nobody's talking about it. Very few people are talking about it. We think it's years away down the road, but it's actually something that's of great concern to both old and young Americans, and we need to be talking about it. I mean, the middle class is something that I grew up in. I grew up in suburban America as well, and I live and work in the middle class. And it's something that is unfortunately in danger now in terms of the economy, and especially after the impact of COVID-19 and joblessness, all these things, which I myself was impacted by the way. I think that we're in danger of losing the middle class, and that's what makes America stand out. That's what makes our country strong, and what makes the global economy strong altogether. And you know, for example, the national debt crisis is a big chunk of that, a big part of that we need to be talking about it. $30 trillion is nothing to ignore. We have to talk about that cliff we're approaching.
Is that the big elephant in the room? That $30 trillion elephant?
Yep, pretty much.
Okay.
Is it
pretty
pink?
Sometimes it feels that way because it seems like some people are in another world about it. So
well, you're intent on staying in the middle class, I assume, because going below a certain line is not acceptable, right?
Not acceptable, but actually,
maybe go.
I'm trying to. Thank you, Wanda. I'm actually trying to go up. I'm trying to eventually. I have plans. I have plans for not only my music industry, which I want to continue, but also, how do you say? I'm in the process of starting my own business. So I hope, and I am determined to rise above and beyond.
You will.
Good, and I'm sure you will, Osman. Yes, you're very talented, and we appreciate the work that you do for our projects, and it's really important to the continuation of our story. So we appreciate you very much. Thank you for being part of the team, and thank you for joining me. Yeah, yep.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, Osman.
Take care.
And joining us next is a favorite of ours. He represents the Aventura Sunny Isles Beach Chamber of Commerce. Joe Gabers joins us now. Joe, how are you?
Hey, Joe.
Joe.
There you are.
Oh, you got a headset and everything. Oh my God.
Joe, you're muted. Why are you muted?
All right. So we'll talk and you just wave.
Hey, there you go.
There you go. All right.
Did you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yeah. So how are things in Sunny Isles Beach and Aventura?
Oh, they're doing great. Listen, business is booming. Everything is opening up. And our biggest problem is finding people that are interested in working. We've had a little bit of shakeup in the economy, and that is that unemployment benefits basically gives people the incentive to stay home. So what we're looking for other opportunities. I have been in touch with a couple of help centers or training centers, and then also employment centers. And I think that the biggest thing that we have going for us here at the Chamber is that the Good Citizen membership, which is open to people under 16. Now,
as young as 16, okay.
Yeah. Now, what we can offer to young, good citizens is an introduction to employment. You would love to have them work with us, volunteering, and they will get to know the different shopkeepers. Of course, when we have our community events and our breakfast meetings, they can attend, mingle. Mingling is a very important part of
Mingling.
You
Okay.
got to learn to mingle.
Yeah, mingling. We have that on our letterhead. Mingle here. Yes.
mingle.
Mingle
Yes.
101.
And Christmas time, it's mingle with Chris Kingle. That's it. Sorry about that.
We got you.
So it's a great opportunity because if they become good citizens, they work with us.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
it's a
assume
good way
they're
to.
already
I'm sorry.
good
Go ahead, Wanda.
citizens. No,
Yeah.
we'll assume they're already good citizens. Yeah, becoming a good citizen.
So we
I don't know.
hope.
I feel like we're putting people through rehab or something.
Oh, come on.
Hey, wait.
Once you become a good citizen,
After this
you
COVID-19,
redeem
listen,
yourself.
everybody needs rehabilitation. Let me tell you.
That's true.
It's
See, I
true.
wasn't thinking of it that way. Rehab.
And
So-
wait, stage 2 of the rehabilitation, because all the people from the Northeast are now flooding to Florida, which is free. Our doors are open. The biggest problem that we have in Florida right now is the schools, because parents don't like the idea that their kids are relegated, that they have to wear masks. So I don't
Yeah.
know if you've listened to the community board meetings.
Yeah.
It's like a roller derby almost.
it can be.
Yeah, you use the term flooding. We don't use that in Florida. We like to use.
Yeah, well, gee whiz. I don't want
Stay
citizens
away
to come
from
after
the
me.
Yeah. So anyway, Joe, when you're out and about in Aventura and Sunny Isles Beach and visiting with shopkeepers, you think that the folks up there are pessimistic, optimistic, or they don't care?
No, they're very, very optimistic.
Yeah. Good.
It's Sunny Isles, for the love of God. How could you not be
Sunny Isles
optimistic in
Beach.
Sunny Isles
Beach.
You
Beach.
know,
Got to
it's-
say
I think
beach.
it's throughout Florida, but especially where we are in Aventura and Sunny Isles Beach.
How's the parking on the beach up there, Joe? What'd you say?
It's getting bad.
Should you not bring a car and just try and maybe public transport over there? Or there's some other ways to get to the beach, isn't there?
I have to plead guilty. I've never used
All
public
right.
transportation here in Florida, not once.
Really?
So fancy.
Wow. I did when I was a kid. I went to the Orange Bowl once as a
Oh,
13-year-old.
no, growing up in New York, I didn't have a car. Everything was subway, you know?
Yeah. Well, here it's a little bit tough to have a subway.
Mm,
Be wet.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
That wouldn't-
I've been here 15 years. I've never used public transportation, never.
Can't even get an above way.
so tell me, what's the deal with the videos? I know you're going out and about in the community and trying to take some shots and videos of businesses that are open and see how they're may entice people to come to visit them, whether they're restaurants or whatever.
This weekend, Joe.
Are you doing that this weekend?
Oh yeah, Wanda and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a couple of promotionals. One of them is going to be at one of our favorite beach resorts in the area.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to be doing the ocean view, and then from the ocean back to
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So you'll entice more people to come back and swamp. Swamp is a bad word too.
Yeah.
Come back and to fill Florida's vacancies. Let's do it that way. So anyway, the hotels will be happy that you're out there on the
Yeah.
beach and promoting what is one of the best beaches in the world. Obviously, we have it right in Sunny Isles Beach,
We're having great weather too.
and we have one of the best malls in the world at Aventura Mall. So that's
Wow.
one of the things we can talk about.
it's amazing. I'll tell you, the Aventura Mall, in comparison with the other malls in the nation, Aventura is thriving.
Yeah, we've been very
Um,
lucky.
It's a good place to take
Some
out
of the malls are being bulldozed down. They're just tearing them down.
Okay, well,
Not here. No.
that's not happening.
Everybody's still
Aventura's
fighting
not
for
here.
real estate.
All right.
Aventura is crazy at Christmas.
So-
just letting you know.
You have
It
and
is crazy.
traffic is bad too.
Crazy.
I don't know. They screw with the lights there or something. I don't know.
It's like a
But-
party at Aventura.
So, Joe, why should people join the Chamber of Commerce?
Chamber of Commerce, what it is a community organization. It's a
Okay.
community organization of business owners and then also concerned citizens. Now, while I told you about the good citizenship, which is offered to young adults as young as 16,
Right.
of course, it's offered to non-business owners and senior citizens, which again, there's a rush coming to Florida for many reasons, which I'll have to ask you. You're the financial professional, but I think that we
I'm
get
gonna
a
ask
little bit.
Lior. Yeah. So, yeah, people are coming, but the two things that the chamber does, according to my recollection, is they catalog your business, right?
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
you know this is a good thing for the good citizenship, good citizen as well, to know who to go to for what.
Good.
You know, the young man that you interviewed today, 17 years old.
Leor.
I'm sorry, what was his name?
Leor,
Lior.
yes.
Lior.
New York. He will be able to see the benefits of being in the community and what shops to go to. And we, you know, the beautiful thing about the Chamber of Commerce, we don't share all information because we're in business. Some of it has to remain secret.
Yes, it does.
But we do share a lot of information,
Okay.
you know.
So Joe is
And-
out there spreading the secret sauce about the Sunny Isles.
Don't tell anybody the ingredients.
Aventura and Sunny Isles Beach Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Joe. Joe is the ambassador, and Joe is a realtor, commercial realtor. And if you have some property that you're looking to sell or you want to buy, get in touch with Joe through the chamber. He's listed on the chamber site as well. Joe, thanks for joining us this morning on Route 664. And
And
the
thank you, Les, and
the road to
thank you,
human
Wanda.
kindness leads
And,
right to
Wanda,
Sunny Isles Beach and Aventura. Yeah.
And Joe and I will see you this weekend on the beach.
beauty. All right, thanks. Be well.
Take care.
See you soon.
And thank you all for listening to the show this morning. And thank you, Lior, for joining us, and Wanda.
Yeah.
Thank you for producing what you do.
Always a
on
pleasure.
on a great level. And be sure to tune into Route 664. You can find it at route664.org.
Great music.
Great music
Great
and
conversation.
great chatter.
Mhm.
Oh, you can hear some really good chatter.
This weekend, Dead Air premieres. So
Yeah, that's
tell me what
another
you think
thing.
about that. Find us on Facebook.
Yeah, and also, I want to make an offer to you. I talked about it at the opening of this show. The book, The Legacy Spectrum. If you go to the website and sign in at socialcharity.org, give us your name and your information. I'm happy to send. We have 10 copies of the book available to the first 10 people that do that. So please take advantage of that.
Are you going to
book
sign
is-
them? Oh, it's
If
not your
you,
book.
it's not my book.
Well, you should
But
sign
I
them
think we
anyway.
need to get Mark Weber on the program so
Definitely.
they can explain why the book is so important. So we look forward to seeing you again next week. And this is Community Newspapers broadcast studio that we're using. We're very appreciative of their help in promoting what we're doing as well.
Howard, thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you again next week. Have a great week.